Hey there, welcome to Cars with Nash. So Nash is going to be doing a brake job on the front of this 2012 Mercedes C350 today. And we're going to be putting new rotors on it as well. The rotors are warped. That's actually the main problem with it. So he'll walk you through it step by step. We've already got it jacked up just on the factory. There's rubber pads under the edge of the car there you can clearly see. And he's going to impact the wheels off. It's a 17mm socket. And Nash is just going to slide that tire under the edge of the car. That way if the car did fall while we're working on it, it can't fall very far. So somebody actually did a pad slap on this car just before we got it. So you can see it has fresh pads. So we're actually going to run those pads again. Pads are pretty expensive for this car, so we'll just sand them and we'll bed them into the new rotors and all should be good. I've done it before. It works out, trust me. Okay guys, well Nash has already done the other side for practice. So it's a T30 on the set screw. It's an 18 on the caliper mounting bracket, and you'll need a swivel to get to, is it the lower bolt, Nash?
The upper bolt.
Oh, the upper bolt. The upper bolt's a little tricky to get to. So Nash is going to go ahead and do this all on camera now and show you. So you just want to make sure to always hold in when you're undoing a torque so that you don't strip it. You want to make sure you're fully seated in it. And one other thing you can do if you're worried about it being seized, just give it a little rap on the bit with a hammer. That'll make sure it's seated and it will break loose rust and threads. But we were pretty confident here since this, again, it just had a brake job. So now Nash is going to grab right on the front edge of the rotor and he's going to pull out pretty firmly. Just like that. That's good, bud. And what that did is just move the pads back a little bit, because just in case the new rotor's a little bit thicker, this will just give us room to slide it in there.
Okay, so here is the upper caliper bolt, and then here is the lower caliper bolt back here. They're a bit inset from looking up above here. Okay, so before we remove those bolts, we have to remove this wire for the pad wear sensor. It's just these free clips right here, and you just pull.
So Nash is just getting oversized zip tie ready to go to hold the caliper up. You never want to leave it hanging by the hose or the wire. You could also use a bungee cord. So he's got the first one out there. There isn't any Loctite on these, so they come out relatively easy, but certainly helpful if you have a powerful impact. He's got it loose and he's just going to slide it off. If you've got a ridge on your rotor, it might be more troublesome, but okay, so he's got that zip tied up there so that it can't move anywhere, and it's not pulling on anything. And now we're just going to pop that off, and then he's going to go ahead and clean that up, because you can see there's some scaly rust on there, so we want to clean that up so that the new rotor sits on there evenly. So we'll just use a wire wheel on a drill, or you could even use one by hand, and just, you don't have to get it right clean, but get the loose scaly stuff off. You can see some of it fell. So I was just wondering, if we breathe in enough of this dust, will we score a higher percentage of German ancestry on an ancestry test? Okay, and now because we are reusing those brake pads, we're just going to sand them. Just sand the surface of them and rough them up. So 60 grit works good for that. And then we'll also do a bed-in procedure where we do a couple of really hard stops from highway speed, just to kind of mate the surface of the new rotor and the pad together. You do the same thing if you put new pads in, which looks like it'd be very easy from this point. I don't believe you'd have to do any more disassembly. You just remove those clips there, right, Nash? Is that correct? I'm right on that. And you could slide the pad inward and right out of there. And then the only other thing I'd recommend is some brake part lubricant. They have like a special grease you can use, or you can even use regular grease, but just be careful not to get it on the surface of anything. Now we're not going to take that apart, so we're not going to get to grease those contact points, but that's what you do if you're putting new pads in, and often the new pads will come with a little tube of that grease. And then this has pad wear sensors on this side. Are you able to spin it to show them that, Nash? Or you can, just those gold wires hanging out of the back of the pads there. Just make sure you wear a dust mask if you're doing this, because they're very toxic, the dust from brake pads. And then have some brake parts cleaner handy. You'll need that to clean off the new rotor too, because it comes with assembly lubricant on it. Yeah, like that. Okay, other pad now. Okay, that should be plenty. Now we've gone with these Bendix Ventit rotors here, and we're hoping those won't warp. This is my mom's car actually, and she tends to lay into the brakes pretty good, so this is what you want to do. You want to wash it off really good with brake clean to get the assembly lube off. Nash is going to plop that on there. You just got to, of course, line up the set screw there. And these, just don't tighten them too much, because they're going to rust up and then they'll strip or break or whatever. So just barely snug them up. They're not going anywhere. If they come loose, they're just going to back out against the wheel. So they're really just a assembly aid. Nash just asked me a question, and if you're in the rust belt, this is kind of important. He asked me if he should clean these, and I said no, and the reason is the plating is still intact on them. If the plating's compromised, that's when I clean and oil. If the plating's still good, we'll put a dab of oil on them, but we're not going to wire wheel them. Okay, Nash is just going to cut the zip tie here, and then he'll bring his caliper down onto the new rotor, line it up. He's got his bolts ready to go back in. He'll get those started by hand, and then honestly probably just zip him in with the impact. We'll include torque specs on screen, but see, it's a good thing I had you spread those pads a little by pulling on the rotor, because they were tight going on there. Okay, so it's really hard to show you, but he's just lining up the bracket back there with the bolt holes in the knuckle. Okay guys, we're just going to put a little film of rust paint around the just this part of the rotor. We're going to try not to get any on the face. And it does two things. It keeps this area from rusting, and it keeps this area from sticking to the wheel. So just replacing the rim, and the only thing here is just check your mounting flange on the back side to make sure that it doesn't have a buildup of corrosion. As you can see, this one's in great condition. So we're good to go. And the barrel of the wheel's nice and clean. Sometimes they can get mud built up on them depending on the season. Okay, so Nash just finished torquing up the wheel to 110 foot-pounds. And that's how you do a basic front wheel brake job on your C-Class Mercedes. I do hope you found this video helpful and informative. Thanks a lot for watching Cars with Nash. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.